Hello, and welcome to our second Moody Talk on fear. Last week, our first Moody Talk, we talked about what is fear? What is that emotion? And what are some of the words that we use to describe fear? And what's the intensity of each word we use? And then we talk about how does it feel in our body? How do we react to fear? So if you haven't checked out last week's, I highly recommend checking that out. It's important to learn the descriptive words for these emotions because, again, you figure out the intensity of what you're feeling when a word pops up in your mind. I'm scared, or I'm terrified, right? Or I'm upset in some way, like the lower end, but terrified for me is one of the most intense words that I can use for fear. So knowing that, I can open up my toolbox of emotions and regulation and, help myself with knowing the intensity of the emotion I'm feeling. Okay. So check that out. And today we are talking about my favorite DBT coping skill. It's called check the facts. So checking the facts is taking the emotion out of the situation and just looking at the situation like step by step, what happened, and answering questions. And we'll get into that. The reason why this is so important to me is because I tend to jump from a primary emotion to a secondary emotion. I do that because the primary emotion is too intense. It doesn't feel in control, and I don't feel safe feeling that emotion. So I jump to a secondary emotion. And for me, the reason why I'm doing checking the facts now is because fear is that primary emotion for me that I always jump to a secondary emotion, which is anger for me. Anger feels more in control. Anger feels, like more safe. Okay. So that's why I like checking the facts, because what I want to do is I want to actually know what is the real emotion I should be feeling in this, and then working through that emotion instead of just covering it up and feeling a different emotion. Make sense? So we're going to go through the DBT worksheet for checking the facts. Okay. So it starts out, facts. Many emotions and actions are set off by our thoughts and interpretations of an event. Okay. And our emotions can also have a big effect on our thoughts about events, right? So examining our thoughts and checking the facts can help us change our emotions. How to check the facts? Number one, ask, what is the emotion I want to change? Then we're going to ask, what is the event prompting my emotion? Describe the facts that you observed through your senses. Challenge judgments, absolutes, and black and white descriptions. Then number three, ask, what are my interpretations, thoughts, and assumptions about the event? Think of other possible interpretations. Practice looking at all sides of a situation and all points of view. Test your interpretations and assumptions to see if they fit the facts. Okay, so these steps here, basically what we're doing is we are saying, okay, this situation caused me to feel this emotion. And now I need to look at that situation without the emotion and figure out the interpretations that may fit this situation. Let's see. I got cut off while I was driving, and I thought I was going to hit this person, right? Suddenly, I feel so much anger towards this person, and I'm really angry, and I really want to get back at them. I get some serious road rage or something, right? So the initial feeling was fear, but I jumped to anger because fear does not feel safe. So That's what they're talking about. Look at all the interpretations of it. Why are you angry in this moment? Yeah, sure. We get angry, especially I'm from Massachusetts. We get angry when people cut us off. But what's the first fear, the first feeling we have? That something bad could happen. We could hit them because they cut us off, right? Okay. Ask, am I assuming a threat? Label the threat. Assess the probability that the threatening event will really occur. Think of as many other possible outcomes as you can. Okay, so we're thinking, I'm angry because this man or person cut me off. The anger is so intense, right? But how else can I interpret how I'm feeling in this moment? Yeah, sure, I'm feeling anger, but what is it really that happened during this that caused me to have an emotion in the moment, right? It was that initial cut off that you could have hit this person. Okay. You can think of other interpretations of it. You know, this person cut you off and, uh, they flip the bird at you, and you now you're interpreting it as they're being a total jerk, and you're not, and that's why you have this anger, right? So ask, what's the catastrophe? Imagine the catastrophe really occurring. Imagine coping well with a catastrophe, and then ask, does my emotion and or the intensity fit the actual facts? So check out facts that fit each emotion, and we're going to go through those after. We're going to go over this. So this overall is saying, this is what happened. When they first cut me off, I got upset. We don't have to name the emotion. I mean, upset is, a word for anger. It can also be a word for fear. It's kind of one of those ones that can go back and forth. Okay. But what am I really feeling? What was it that caused me to react? And then looking at it, saying, okay, so initially I had the fear that I was going to hit this person, but I am feeling anger. And honestly, anger can be an emotion you feel after the fear, sure, right? But fear is what you felt. So you want to use coping skills that work well with fear. Okay. Now we're going to go through. We also have this paper that is examples of emotion that fit the facts. So we're going to go to fear first. There is a threat to your life or that of someone you care about. There is a threat to your health or of someone's health that you care about. And that there is a threat to your well-being or that of someone you care about. So what fit the facts in this moment in the car ride? There is a threat to your life, right? You were driving the car and this person cut you off, and I guess pretty close, and you were afraid that you were going to hit them. That's threatening your life, getting into an accident. Okay? Let's go to anger now. Anger. An important goal is blocked or a desired activity is interrupted or prevented. You or someone you care about is attacked or hurt by others. You or someone you care about is insulted or threatened by others. The integrity or status of your social group is offended or threatened. Okay, so those are situations that anger fits, right? Then there's disgust, and we'll do just a couple of disgust. Something you are in control or contact with could poison or contaminate you. Somebody whom you deeply dislike is touching you or someone you care about. Yeah, I'm pretty disgusted by that too. You are around a person or group whose behavior or thinking could seriously damage or harmfully influence you or the group you are a part of. Okay, So those are situations that disgust fit. Then there's envy. Another person or group gets to you or has things you don't have that you want or need. It's pretty simple, envy. Jealousy, a very important and desired relationship or object in your life, is in danger of being damaged or lost. Someone is threatening to take a valued relationship or object away from you. So that's jealousy, when something is taken away from you. Love, loving a person, animal, or object enhances quality of life for you or for those you care about. Pretty much sums up love. Sadness, you have lost something or somebody permanently. Things are not the way you wanted or expected and hoped them to be. That sums up sadness for me too. Shame, you will be rejected by a person or group you care about, characteristically of yourself or of your behavior. Okay, your behavior are made public, so you feel shame. Shame is one of those feelings that works for social groups, and it's a valid emotion, and we will get into shame later. So shame is a very important emotion that can turn toxic, and we're going to get into that later. And then guilt. Your own behavior violates your own values or moral code. Okay, so these are situations that fit the facts, okay, for these emotions. And I think they're pretty common events, right? You can take a specific event and then you can find that, that, what is it, example of the emotion to better understand. And that's really what emotions are all about, is understanding what an emotion is. Like fear is like it's a threat to yourself or someone you love, or it's a threat to take something away, right? And that includes relationships, and that includes your life, like the guy cutting you off, and you were scared you were going to hit them. So I hope Check the Facts was something that can help you out as well. And, I'll be back next week with another Moody Talk on fear. Have a good week. Bye.